Hello and welcome back. Today, the single most amount of money I've ever spent on one Pokemon card. And this is it here, Rayquaza EX from EX Dragon. So I spent $141 on this card in auction. I managed to snipe the bid at the last minute. I actually thought it would go for a lot more, so with about 24 hours left it was already at $130, so I thought it would be 200 to 250 basically, was my guess, and it went for 141 in the end, so that's about 93 US dollars I think. And as you can see, it's near mint, but actually it's not near mint. So the listing had it at moderately played, and you can see like the eye appeal from the front is beautiful, but if you look closely, there you can see the creases start to appear, and it's really obvious on the back. If you look at the back here, you get one crease in this corner here, and then you have another big crease down the bottom here like that, yeah. So realistically, probably damaged, but beautiful binder appeal. And that's really what I want from this card. This is going to be a part of my EX Dragon Master Set. And I think it's going to look great in the binder. And the timing on this was fantastic because the very next day, I think it was, in Pokerev's next video, he did a series of one pack from every era, and in his EX era EX Dragon pack, he pulled this card, which is insane. I could not believe it. I was like, couldn't believe that he got the Chem card that I bought the day before. And it's such a beautiful card. I love this card so much. It's been like a grail of mine for a while now. I think probably like about 16 months or 18 months. I've had a search specifically for this card on eBay. And so every day I look at where this card was at, how many copies were listed. There's been about 3 or 4 of them up there, around the $400 to $600 mark, sometimes a little bit lower. And then they really dried up recently. They've recently all vanished. And then I think after this one sold, someone bought another one after the Pokerev video. And now there's one copy, I think, online, and it's a PSA 10 auction. And at the time of recording this video, there's about 40 hours left in the auction, and it's currently sitting at $4,600 plus, which is so wild to me. That you could have, like, how many is that, like 30 copies of this card that I paid for this condition, or you could have one PSA 10. And that's not even the final price. It could go for $5,000 plus by the time the auction is all over. So that was the main thing about this video. I also want to talk a bit about the eBay news that's come out recently. So in the last week, it's been announced that eBay is doing a trial where instead of the current system where when the time ends on an auction, that's the end of the auction, they're going to trial extending it for a small period. So if a bid comes in right at the end, there's going to be an additional 2 minutes where someone else can match that bid or pay over that bid in order to get the card. And when I heard this news, I was actually really disappointed because I don't think I would have got this card under that system. I think someone would have bid up it higher. It would have gone for probably around 190, 200. And so it's a bit sad. It's sad that if eBay chooses to roll this system out, which they probably will, it's common amongst their competitors. Obviously a real, quote unquote, real world auction, it doesn't end until no one else is willing to bid anymore. So eBay's always been a bit of an anomaly in the way that you can snipe bids And it's usually better for the buyer because what happens is all the other buyers want to get the lowest price possible. And so rather than entering what they're actually willing to pay, they enter the smallest amount they think that'll actually win them the auction. And for people like me, who can come in and swoop up some beautiful cards like this, it's going to be a bit sad, but I don't think it's the end of eBay and eBay auctions. I actually won 2 auctions in the last couple of days that were not even a snipe. I just left a bid at a really low amount and no one else matched it. So I think there'll still be opportunities, there'll still be deals on eBay, but it is sad that you're not going to be able to find that amazing snipe deal. So probably things are going to go for a bit higher price than they used to, especially items like this which have a lot of interest. Like there was a lot of people watching this card, a lot of bids on this card, so probably it would have got some more bids at the end. So that's that topic. The last thing I wanted to talk about was what this card is for. And this is part of what I'm working towards at the moment is a few vintage sets. So the main 2, I guess, or the main 3 would be Plasma Blast, which I got a card in my last video, the Genesect. There's EX Dragon, this set here, and then Gym Challenge is the last one. And of all those sets, EX Dragon is actually looking the most plausible at the moment. Just because I have this card now, and also I have this card. So the Rayquaza, I think, is the second biggest card in the set in terms of value, the Dragonite being number 2. Or number 3, sorry. Now this one is, I think, near mint to LP. I've actually had this card for a long time. I pulled this card as a kid. So yeah, not near mint, but for a childhood collection card, I still love it so much. This one always reminds me of that anime episode where they're at Bill's tower and that huge Dragonite comes out of the fog. Reminds me a lot of that moment. Yeah, with these 2 cards, it almost makes EX Dragon feel somewhat possible. Especially compared to some of the other sets, like Plasma Blast, I'm missing those 2 full arts, Adaga and Palkia, that are a couple $100 each. For Gym Challenge, all the holos are getting so expensive from that now, especially the Blaine's Charizard is like $800 now, something ridiculous. So this is actually looking the most achievable. What I forgot, somehow I forgot, it's been a while since I looked at the set list, is that they have that secret rare Charizard, which is the most expensive card in the set. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do the complete set minus the secret rares is a possibility. But I also think this is like possibly my favorite era of cards. They're just so, there's something about that Cosmos Holo with the Cosmos Holo border. I actually think, and this is a very hot take, I actually like these more than the Gold Stars. So Gold Stars have been super hot right now, and I actually have a point of comparison here. So the Gold Stars, they have a yellow border. And as much as I love yellow borders, I'm a huge proponent of yellow borders. I think when the Cosmos foil border is brought into the equation, I think it wins. I don't like the grey borders, I don't like the plain borders, but the Cosmos Holo borders, beautiful. But these are all really cool cards, aren't they? But yeah, what do you think? Do you think the EXs are over the Gold Stars? Obviously Gold Stars right now, this is one of the cheapest Gold Stars, but Gold Stars are going for an insane price right now. Basically any Gold Star, even the Greninja that I showed a few videos ago, which I have lying around still, Even this is like a $50 card now in Australian dollars, which is crazy. But yeah, super happy for this Rayquaza. This is going to be a huge piece in my collection for a long time to come. I just don't think it's possible to get these cards anymore really for a good price, especially after that video PokeRev made. There's this vintage has been quietly disappearing for a while now, probably over the last 6 months, but the last 3 months especially, it's just vanishing. And cards like these, if you don't have them now, it's going to be very hard to get them in the future, is the way it's looking. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.